Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've been doing a lot of streaming lately, not been doing too many video on demand kind of things, but here we are. The summer is almost over. My kid is going to be going back to school. That's a big part of things. I intentionally don't do as much in the summertime because I want to spend all the time I can with my son and my family, and but now that he's going to be back to school and I'll be back in the studio more during the day, kind of uninterrupted, you're going to be getting a lot of more of these from me. So getting back to the theory videos and stuff you all come to expect from the channel, and some other things, thoughts and things like that. So thank you all for being patient while I came back to doing this stuff. If you haven't been catching my streams, come join us on the streams nightly. I kind of just drop them either Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday. Sometimes when it's just very sporadic. You know how we do it around here. Anyway, big news, Nintendo Direct coming tomorrow, apparently. So I just saw a couple of messages about this. I do have some thoughts. We were kind of debating whether or not there's going to be a Direct this week on my stream last night, and there are a couple of things that I think that we're going to be seeing. But real quick, if you haven't, click the bell, throw a like on here, subscribe, do all the stuff that we always ask in these YouTube videos. You know how we do it. Throw a like on there, let people know you're into the content so that people come by and check it out. But yeah, so Nintendo Direct tomorrow. I have no ideas. I have nothing to base this on. But here are a few things I think that we could very possibly see tomorrow, and I'm actually excited about the possibility of seeing tomorrow. First off, from Square Enix, I think we could be seeing some Final Fantasy stuff, and maybe something new. Maybe something new for Square Enix. I could see Square Enix kind of quietly and sneakily developing like a Switch 2 exclusive type of game. What would that be? I don't know. I would hope for like a new turn-based RPG. I don't think Square Enix has made an initiative to get away from those. I think they've been concentrating on other like action RPG type games, Final Fantasy VII Remake Saga being chief among them. But I think if I were Square Enix and I were going to debut a new turn-based RPG, I think I would roll the dice on the Switch 2 and put it there. I think that could be something to look out for. Now, also from Square Enix, I really feel like we're going to see something for Final Fantasy IX. Not for Final Fantasy IX Remake. Maybe a port or Final Fantasy IX or something like that. I think they'll say something about Final Fantasy IX's big anniversary this year, right? Their big birthday this year. I think we'll see something about that. Could they drop some news about the remake? A special kind of feature about the remake, since Nintendo has came out and said this is for their third-party partners. They're outside of Nintendo partners, basically. So I think it's a strong possibility we'll get a good, strong showing from Square Enix. And what stronger showing could they have right now than something for Final Fantasy IX? We know Remake Saga Part 3 Redemption. Anyway, excuse me. Final Fantasy VII Redemption. Final Fantasy VII Remake Saga Part 3, whatever that's going to be called. Is in the works. I think it's too early to see anything for that. Maybe at the Game Awards we might see something. Next summer we'll start seeing some drops. They're ramping up the end of the development cycle and the beginning of the promotion cycle. I think that'll be next summer. But could we see something for like Rebirth coming to Switch 2? Who knows? A little feature on some Square Enix stuff I think is just what the doctor ordered, and I think we'll see that. Now, other developers. I'm looking at you, Konami. Here's my big hope. This is my big hope. Outside of a Chrono Trigger something for Nintendo Switch, I've just given up the ghost with Chrono Trigger, right? I've given up any kind of hope that they will ever do anything with Chrono Trigger, so I'm not backing that horse. But if it happens, fantastic. I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it if it happens, but I'm not holding my breath. Anyway, Konami. Could we see something for Castlevania? A new Castlevania. Castlevania was a staple of Nintendo for years. Years. Even the N64 games, who people kind of, clown these days, but they weren't bad. Like, I still like Castlevania 64 because you're actually fighting vampires in it. Not a vampire. There are many little vampire ghouls and stuff you have to fight. So Nintendo has a very strong history with Castlevania. It wasn't birthed on Castlevania, but you could say that it made its name on Nintendo. What better way for Konami to reintroduce Castlevania than through Nintendo, through the Switch 2? Could Konami have been working with another developer to develop a new Castlevania game for Nintendo Switch? Or, I don't want to see them do more ports, but what if we get a remake or a remaster of Castlevanias 1, 2, and 3? That could be on the table. Like a 2D HD remake of the first 3 Castlevanias with more kind of exploration and more Metroidvania-ness to the first 2 games, a proper translation for 2. I mean, sky's the limit. They could do a whole lot with 1, 2, and 3. We already kind of got a remake of Rondo of Blood on the PlayStation Portable, but remaster that, put it on Nintendo Switch. I think there's a lot of ground to cover with Castlevania that you could do something with Nintendo Switch. So that's kind of my dark horse bet. That's the one I have nothing to base it on. I have no idea. But my hope would be that we see something from Konami for Castlevania tomorrow at the Nintendo Direct. That is really the reason I would tune in to see. Like, I'm just assuming that Square Enix will have a presence there. I'm assuming of what Square Enix might show. Maybe something for Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to Switch 2. Another little promo. That stuff, I've played those games. I don't care. When people get all excited, it's like, oh man, remake this, Final Fantasy VII Remake, this 5-year-old games. It's coming to Xbox, yeah. It's coming to PC, yeah. It's coming to Nintendo, yeah. Who cares? Everybody that wants to play that game has played it. Who cares? Who cares? Great. I mean, hopefully they sell a few more units, make a little more money, whatever. But as far as me as a fan, I don't care about that. The PC port's coming, man. I don't care. I'm here for the story. It's slightly prettier. Okay, great. Whatever. Capital, all caps, whatever, But give me something unseen. Give me something I haven't seen. Give me something that we're not expecting. Surprise us. I miss the surprises. I miss not being spoiled for surprises. And this isn't me spoiling anything. This is me just throwing thoughts into the ether, right? What are your dark horses? What do you want to see? Here's the one that we'll never see that I would love to see. I would love to see the East series come to Nintendo. I would love to see the East series, all of them, come to Nintendo Switch 2. That would be a way to sell me a Switch 2, to play through all the East series again. I'm currently playing through the Final Fantasy pixel remasters on PlayStation 5. But you want to sell me a Switch 2? Put the East series on there. Put the Arc the Lad series on there. Put some classic JRPGs on there that we don't have access to right now. That would be amazing. That would be wonderful. So other than that, those are the big ones for me. Of course, we're not going to see first party stuff from Nintendo. So yeah, no Metroid, no new Mario, nothing like that. But as far as I think Square Enix will have a presence there. I would love to see Konami drop something for Castlevania there. What if Square Enix remastered games like Parasite Eve, the Brave Fencer games, Brave Fencer Musashi, Einhander. Einhander would be an amazing remaster for the Switch 2. That would play perfectly on that system. That would be a perfect game for that system. And some of their older titles too. Let's remaster some more of that stuff. If you're not going to make new IPs, remaster some of that old stuff. But there's a treasure trove of things to dig through. There really is. And not just from the Squaresoft side of things, but from the old Enix side of things. There were some Enix games that were on Nintendo. Will we see some Dragon Warrior, or see showing my 80s kid. Will we see some Dragon Quest stuff? I almost said Dragon Warrior. I almost said it. Dragon Quest. Will we see some Dragon Quest stuff on Nintendo's Direct tomorrow? Who knows? But anyway, post your comments. Let me know what you think we might see. What are we going to see? What do you want to see? What do you hope we see? And what will you be let down if we don't see? I've got a few of those too, but I'll save that. I don't want to spread any negativity. I'm just wait to watch it tomorrow and get into it then. But anyway, hope you all having a great day. Hope you're having a great week. More coming the rest of this week. Drop in on our live streams at night. You won't be disappointed. Until then, you all have a great night. Be safe. Be good to each other. Keep rocking. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care.